I'm going to spread them out, and you grab one. Got one? Okay, good. Yeah, show it to Karen. I've got a marker here. I want you to take the marker and take the cap off. There you go, buddy. And put write something on the face of the card that we'll recognize. Okay? Great. Hopefully you feel like you could take any card. Going to slip it inside. I've got something in my pocket, something pretty intimate, kind of weird. It's actually a bunch of balloons. Okay? People look at them first, they go, is that a balloon? Yes, it's a balloon. It's just a weird colored balloon. It is a balloon. Now watch. I'm going to try to find your sign card in the pack. I'm going to take one of the balloons, okay, and get all the air out of it to create a vacuum inside the balloon. And I'm hoping if I take the deck, it'll get, look at that. Sucked. And remember, I could have used any one of these balloons. These are ordinary balloons. Sucked inside the balloon. Now look. Now I can shuffle the cards, reach inside and pull one card right through the wall of the balloon, and that is your sign card. This is airtight, and I'm proud and humbled to say that this is one of the tricks that David Cooperfield performed of mine on one of his TV specials back in the day. He was kind enough to call me and ask for permission and all that, and I said, yes, of course. So that was pretty exciting and awesome, particularly when I was a younger guy. Now, having said that, it's a cool trick. I also hate this trick. I hate this trick because I used to perform it a lot. And the problem with this trick is if you perform it the way I originally taught it to people, you never knew if the balloon was going to break. So imagine, you're in the middle of a show. You're in fact working on your big closer. Here it is, the big closer. You shake, 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 and pop goes the balloon, and you look like a doofus. Okay? Magically, the appearing doofus, not what I wanted. So I love this trick. It's been good to me. Magicians know me for this trick, but I hate this trick, so I'm going to show you the method now, and I'm going to show you a method where the balloon never breaks. Okay? Much more practical. Not as pretty in some regards, but you can count on the second method. Here's the first method. You're going to need some, these are called needle-through balloon balloons, okay? They're particularly durable balloons. They're not gimmicked or anything. You'll find them at party stores. We'll have them. They call them crystal clear balloons, okay? And this is the 7 or 9 inch. You can get 12 and 14. But in this very rare case, bigger is not better. Here, in fact, 9 inch is perfect, okay? So what I do is I get a balloon. I blow it up. Okay? Give it a moment. You want to stretch the rubber. Okay? Let the air out. Take a deck of cards and shuffle them face up and face down. Okay? And make sure that the top card and the bottom card are both face down. And this isn't a complete deck. This is about 2/3 of a deck. It's an old crappy pack of cards. I take the deck, jam it in my mouth. And you get to do this. Try not to let your girlfriend or boyfriend or parents ever see you set up the deck, because it looks like you're committing moral crimes against the state and the species of humanity. You pull the balloon up and around, boom, like this, okay? Now, you want the nozzle part to be, this is a perfect position for this, okay? You don't want it sticking off one end. You want it kind of flat along the bottom, but you don't want a big lump at the front end. So what you need to do is bring these around, and there. That's pretty smooth. This is pretty smooth. Now, if I were to say to you, hey, look, it's a deck, you would never believe that's a deck of cards. But if I've already done a couple of card tricks for you with a matching deck, if I put one card on top, it starts to look an awful lot like a normal deck of cards. Now, I should note that since I released this over 20 years ago, there have been a bunch of variations on this. So anything that you might already know released by other magicians involving cell phones in the balloon or a deck of cards or variations, they all stem from this original one called Airtight, which I first published back in a book of mine, literally back in the 1980s, believe it or not. So you're here like that. This deck with one cover card on top, I have sitting facing up on a chair, okay? So it's on that chair down there ready to go. I have these balloons in my pocket. 5, 6, 7 balloons in my pocket, and I am good to go. I have a card selected, okay? I have the marker down with that other deck, and a card has been selected. It's okay if I see it, I say. And I take the deck, and I'm going to go down to that chair. My performance case could be there, or maybe it's just a bar stool off to the side. And I'm going to go down and grab the marker, okay? And I'm going to go down, lead with this hand, and come out with this hand, emphasizing the marker. But as I do it, my left hand is going to leave the first deck down, grab the other deck, and come right back up like this. So I have essentially gone down, switched decks, come back up, focus, hand that to someone, and I don't hold this deck like this. I hold it facing down like that, and I have never been caught doing that switch, okay? It's just a very natural, simple switch. Someone writes their name on the card, okay? They do that. I come back and I'm going to use Marlowe's tilt, where I tilt the cards. So the front edge is connected to the card, but I've lifted the back end about ½ an inch, okay? That allows me to come over, and boy, it looks like this card is going into the middle of the deck, but in fact, it's going second from the top, okay? I square that in, and now I either do a one-hand top palm, which is a very advanced one-hand move, okay? It takes literally months or years to practice. That's the next level stuff for sure on the Inside Deception site you'll find. But for now, I'm just going to suggest you use a two-hand top palm, okay? It's a lot easier. So I've got my sign card. I slip it in here. And as I square the cards, my left thumb is going to push the top card off, and I'm going to take that card in and sort of in the right-hand palm. Now this again is an advanced move. It'll take practice. And again, if you're serious enough about your magic, you're starting to learn one-hand palms and things like that. There's lots of resources out there in the world, including my training site. So I get the card, and I immediately go to my pocket, and I say, I've got something weird in my pocket, and look, there's some balloons. So what's happened so far in the trick? Someone selected a card, they signed that I put in the middle, and I took out some balloons. But you're so far ahead, right, as I love to say. I hold the deck, and I'm making sure with my thumb I'm pushing down the nozzle. I don't want that flashing, okay? I don't want people to see that. I pick up one of the balloons, I squeeze it, and as I hit this here, I'm going to use my first finger to flip over the deck. In one smooth move, it looks like I take it and I say, hopefully the deck will get, ooh, sucked inside. And you don't have to be perfect on this. There's lots of action, lots to cover it up. So you go like this, and then I deliberately move the deck. I'm sort of like this, here like this. I take it, and I'm going to get rid of this now. And I'm going to get rid of it in the easiest way possible, and that is by holding it secretly in my hand. As I drop my left hand, grab up these other balloons and put them off to the side. Nobody, again, has ever noticed I added the balloon into the pile. Okay. Then I grab this and I move this forward about ½ an inch. So I pick up the ballooned deck, move it forward about ½ an inch here so that there's a good space, because I don't want the front edge of this card for the audience to see it. So I move it forward, then I kind of tilt everything down a little bit and I blow. If you're lucky enough that the balloon doesn't break, you're in this position with the deck inside. The card is here in sort of what's called a gambler's cop. It's held out here beneath the deck. Now you shuffle the cards, you avert because it's going to do that, and you say, I'll shuffle the cards, see if I can find your card. And what I do now is I grab a bunch of the cards with my thumb. I push in and sort of grab some of the cards here with the sign card below. Okay? And you have this wonderful image of apparently pulling the card through the wall of the balloon. You tie that up, you hand it to someone, and you have the freakiest souvenir ever. So, you know, it's a great image. I'm thrilled I came up with it many years ago. Like I said, it's inspired a bunch of magicians all over the place. But the darn thing sometimes breaks. We know that. So let me show you right now a much simpler handling where I have found it pretty much never, ever breaks. It's not as magical, but you still get the key image, okay? And that is deck of cards, okay? No deck switch required. Bunch of balloons in your pocket, okay? That's it. You can go into this at any time. Have a card selected. Have a card signed. Let's say the 5 of hearts. Control to the top of the deck. Now, what I say is I'm going to go, so I've got the sign card here. I say we're also going to use a balloon. And I put both my hands in my pockets, and as I do, I literally just thumb off the sign card into my pocket while I grab the balloons here, and I come out here like this, and I say, here they are. So it's a very simple way of not even palming, but getting the selected card into my pocket. It doesn't even have to be signed, okay? And I say, look, I know your card's somewhere in here. If I shuffle them, you might think, oh, well, he's handling the cards with his own hand, so maybe he can control. So I'm going to shuffle the cards without me even touching the cards. And they go, what? And I go, yeah, it's real simple. I say, I got a balloon. I blow it up in front of them. And I have found that people are so fascinated with what this looks like. And you can even, again, let's say you're going to use a slightly smaller deck. I say, look, this way, there's no way, and people start to laugh. So you get all this comedy, the original handling never had. I say, now, I can't touch the deck. And it gets a nice big laugh, okay? Then, what you can do is you're going to hand that out if you want. Someone can take a look at that, and or you can blow it up, tie a knot, and hand it out. Either way, while they're looking at this, it is the easiest thing in the world for me to slip both my hands into my pockets. And I palm the card, the signed card or unsigned card, in my left hand, in, like I said, Gambler's Cop. And Gambler's Cop is like this. And it doesn't matter whether the card's face up or face down. But let's say it's face down. So it's like this. Now, this isn't going to fool anybody, but if your hand is sitting at your side, notice how, apart from directly behind you, it's great on angles. It's just about relaxing, okay? You get this back, and when you get it back, you put your hand underneath, and you're in the exact same position you wanted to be in before. But the balloon was just put around the deck. So now, I can blow it up. I can shake the cards. I can do the move. And there's much less chance you get the same ending, but there's much less chance of this balloon ever breaking.